Hello, this is Ivana.
This is Yaw.
And you're listening to the podcast Life in Black and White.
And all the shades in between.
We share all things life, relationships, marriage, parenting, race, and much more. If you enjoy listening to us, then please follow or subscribe to this podcast. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook under Life in Black and White. Hello, my friend, and welcome back to Life in Black and White and all the shades in between.
Hello.
Say something more than hello.
Okay. This isn't forced, but hi, everybody. And I wish everybody is well and everybody's doing fine.
That's much better.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's good to know.
Otherwise, it sounds like you just say what I tell you to say.
It wouldn't ever sound like that, but there we are. Come on.
You're in a good mood.
I know.
What happened to you? Usually you are drained, you know.
Speaking to Talia.
Oh, you told about our guest already. That was meant to be a secret.
I'm sorry.
Reveal.
That's probably going to be
okay.
edited out or not.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So we hope you had a lovely 2 weeks, that you missed us just as much as we missed you. And just to quickly remind you, you can now support this podcast financially. You can, sorry?
Details.
Yeah, for more details, just check the notes in the description of this episode, and you can find it all there. And just so you know, every support means a lot, and we can't stress that enough. Let me just check you have this on. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, thank God I checked that now. No, it still picks up.
Oh,
Don't worry.
Okay.
So
we're really good at this, professionals.
I'm loving it.
So today we have another special guest, an amazing guest. I know we always say it's special and amazing, but all our guests are amazing. Otherwise, we wouldn't have them here. So today we are speaking to Talia Zamora, who is also our dear friend, who we've known for how long now? I know, right?
It's a little while now.
Yeah. Jesus, scary. So
I want
10
to
years.
say 6 years, but
Yeah.
It
I
must
don't
be
feel like
longer.
the twins were that young when I met you. They were walking.
Yeah. But it feels like ages, no? It feels longer than that.
When are they 8?
They are 8.
They're
They'll be
already
9
8.
in August. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then maybe it is 6 years then.
Yeah.
Only? Doesn't feel
Only.
right. I don't remember my life without Talia in it.
Wow.
Everything before Talia is just a blur.
When did you move to Welling Garden?
When I was pregnant with them.
Okay, so no, I didn't know you straight away in Welling
Yeah.
Garden.
But yeah, I can't believe that's not right. But yeah, numbers. Yeah. But apart from being our dear friend, Talia is also a mom of 2 boys, gorgeous boys. Oh my God, they're gorgeous and so nice. They're just amazing.
You want to say compared to our kids, don't you?
But they're different ages. Yeah, they're
Well,
teenagers.
you haven't met them recently, though. Like it's been a few months since you've seen them. It's overnight, I tell you, it changes.
We'll get into that. She's a mom of 2 boys and a neurodivergent, can't say that word, I apologize, business and family coach. I know I said it, but I don't feel like it.
You said it well, don't worry.
Yeah. So Talia worked in the quote-unquote real world for many years in business improvement and management before starting her own business in 2018. So long story short, of course, but if you can tell us more about you, Talia, over to you.
Okay.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Thank you. So I met you 6 years ago, and when I met you, I was kind of still early in my journey of working for myself, but my kids were a lot younger. I should probably go back a bit further, really. But and I had, prior to working for myself as a mentor and a coach, I was working in what I call the real world. I had a job where I was employed, and I worked for the University of Hertfordshire for like 13 years. and I worked for then went on to work for Balfour BT, like Atkins, a big contract. So yeah, that was my real world work. I worked in contracts and estates and motorways. So then the challenges I had with my kids when they were younger made me kind of need and want something different, something that suited working around my kids and not doing the 9 to 5, which I'm sure a lot of your audience can probably relate to. That, you know, I find it quite archaic actually, working as being fixed to a desk, working 9 to 5. And as much as there's so many negatives about COVID, that to me was a blessing, that actually it became so much more flexible in the terms of what work looked like, and in terms of being a mum and wanting to be at the school gate, drop off and pick up, and wanting to be able to be at school assemblies and things like that. I think I'm hoping that it's made things a lot easier for lots of parents to be able to do that, because if you're at home and you've got instead of having a lunch break, you have a morning assembly instead, but you still get your hours done, then so be it, you know. So I really do hope that people in industry are finding things a lot easier. So
and I can say that it has pros and cons now, because ever since COVID, me and Yaw have been together all the time, and it's challenging not to divorce him.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I think I do admire it. I really do. I've got to be honest with you. The amount of times I've said to
reality. I'm not. I'm joking.
No, I said to Martin so many times that if he was laid off or went on furlough in COVID, I don't think we would have survived. Like, as in our relationship and our marriage, I really do think that it would have been way too tough. So all those people out there that actually were confined 24/7 in the house together, I admire them for getting through that, you know, especially because you can't even go and spend time with other people. So the fact that people are doing that now still, it's not easy. So yeah, hats off to you.
Thank you.
And it was just
a breeze for you.
It was just a bit of roses and stuff on my side. I just thought that I had all the time in the world to spend with my lovely wife. What more could I want in life, right? So,
but you weren't furloughed, were you, Yaw?
No.
So you still had to juggle work and family. I mean, baby Yaw wasn't there yet, but still, there's the twins running around.
And me, so
yeah,
good work. Anyway, back to you.
and a chicken delivery from me on a one-off. Like, I can't even remember why I delivered a chicken. Was one of you had COVID? I think. Did you have COVID in lockdown?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember when I kept on saying that I was fine?
Yeah.
I was dying.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not dying.
Yeah.
Really
he looked like he was. I'm fine. Yeah. You couldn't even walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just vaguely remember giving you a chicken randomly.
Thank you. Thank you.
We survived, so it's all good.
Yeah, it's good. You're here to tell the tale. So when I was looking for a new job, because I was leaving Balfour BT, this is when I I'd never thought of working for myself. Just was struggling to find something that was flexible and not so rigid. And this is pre-COVID. So I think if it was COVID time, I would have probably lucked out and it would have been a lot easier. So finding something that was located near home and wasn't full-time or was flexible I was struggling to find what I needed. So I ended up taking a month or so. In my head, I was taking a month or so off to reestablish what I wanted to do, have a look around for jobs, find something local. And within days, if not weeks, I'd kind of thought, okay, I need to work for myself. So it wasn't some sort of lifelong dream that I'm going to work for myself, but it just kind of fell on me. And then, so then I started exploring what I could do and how I could do it, transfer the skills. As I'd done so much business management and business improvement within my contract roles, that was already there, that skill I could pass on. And I was already passionate about helping women to what I call have their cake and eat it, because I had felt like I was a bit frustrated with the whole 9 to 5 bit. So I thought, okay, maybe I can do something with this. And I'd done leadership training, so I knew statistically that there was a lot of women that like educationally reached a really big high to the point of doctorates and, master's degrees and things like that. But as soon as they start a family, then they don't necessarily use it. They divert to suit the family and end up doing something that and not using the skills or the degrees that they studied for. So part of that frustrated me too, because I was thinking all this education going to waste. So that's where I came to thinking, actually, I want to support women to run their businesses, because statistically, again, businesses don't survive much longer than 5 years, let alone 2, So to be able to support people to have the trust in themselves, the confidence, the understanding that they are doing the right thing and that they can, build a business around their family. I thought that was, to me, that was really valuable.
Yeah. So that was the initial.
Yeah, that was the initial thinking.
Yeah.
But also part of that process was because my kids had different needs. I had additional hospital appointments, additional doctor's appointments, needed to pick them up straight from school and not do after school clubs because a long day for them was just too overwhelming. So that was part of the restriction and the part of the need for flexibility. So kind of without realizing it, I was choosing that path because of my availability and that, well, I suppose there was a realization, but it was definitely pushed that way because of it. And then so I didn't actually have both of my kids diagnosed with autism at that point, so I just knew they had additional needs. They were sensitive, they were overwhelmed by long days, by chaos, by noise, by just certain things like food sensitivities. So I knew there was things going on, and we were on the pathway to diagnosis for my eldest, but I didn't know the full extent of it. So then I also, on my journey to training to be a coach, I was also in the background training as a parent to understand my kids more, to be able to communicate in different ways, to realise what their needs were. So that was quite a journey in itself. And I met a lot of people along the way, other parents, got talking to lots of people, was involved in community activities with the kids. So then the forefront doing coaching, I was I was a business strategist and helping people to, as a coach, to build strategies for their business, make things easier. But strangely enough, I don't know if I've probably spoken to you about this, Ivanka, before. Strangely enough, the people that I was attracting were actually neurodivergent. So after a few years of trading, if you call it that, running my business, I then reflected on my clients and the type of clients they were and realized actually majority of them, let's say 80% of them, either had a child that was neurodivergent, so a child that was autistic or ADHD or had particular needs, or they were themselves, whether it's, dyslexia, dyspraxic, they were autistic or ADHD themselves. But some of them didn't even realize it for themselves, but they had come to me because of affinity, of a connection, because of the way I spoke, the methods I used. And I just found that actually that it was easy to be with those people.
Yeah.
I often
say how this works. No, you attract.
Yeah, absolutely.
People,
It's a little bit like not so long ago, I was looking for a coach and I had a few recommended to me. And I thought, no, I can't just have a coach recommended to me. I need to meet them and I need to see if there's an affinity and a connection. And because if I, no offense to this particular person that I'm going to describe, but if I turned up to a coaching meeting and it was a 65-year-old white man that had never had children before, that maybe lived in Ireland or in Scotland or something, there'll be nothing there, there's no connection. So obviously the people that were coming to me were because of they'd picked up on some sort of connection through a referral or through a chat or seeing me live on Facebook, which I was doing a lot of at that point. So one way or another, they, without realizing it, they were connecting to me because of that. And And then I suppose it came after that reflection. I started thinking, oh, well, if I'm interacting these people, then maybe I should actually deliberately be working with these people. I should be deliberately working with parents of neurodivergent kids, or from a neurodivergent family, or have something going on for themselves, because I'm not a hard and fast action taking, pushing coach. I very much about reality and building it around the person and making sure that what they have the capacity for is what they can achieve and what they can put the time in for.
Yeah.
So it means it's achievable, you know. So
for those who don't know, Talia helped me to launch the first edition of my book, Motherhood the Unspoken. And that's, I think, what I liked about you the most in terms of work-wise, was the peace and calmness that you brought to the table. Because like you say, I can't stand coaches who are like, let's do this, you know, like energetic, and it was like, freaks me out.
But then you go away with like 20 actions that are unrealistic as well, because there's not enough time in the day to do it, especially when you've got other responsibilities. So, and then you feel deflated that actually you haven't achieved anything, and you come back to your coach and think, oh, I'm really sorry, I haven't achieved this. But actually, you don't need to apologize to a coach. It's not something that you need to be sorry about. And then
but also with some coaches, you feel like they're just saying things they were taught, that they know they should say, but they don't, like you say, they don't tailor things to you. And this is what I love about you as well, is that you see the person. So
and I tend to use my intuition about that person and what they need.
And I love that. So you can tell, you don't say things that you learn that I should say this now. No, you just have the gift, the natural.
So it's not scripted.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it isn't scripted. There's mental steps that I know that I could need to guide them through, especially if they're running a business. With family coaching, ever so different in terms of there isn't a journey that no two families are the same. It's just impossible. But with businesses, the steps that you take, like your ideal client and your audience that you want to attract and who you want to sell to, and the research that potentially you need to do, and the marketing and the branding and the voice that you want to portray, all that kind of stuff needs to be woven in somehow to form that business, to be selling whatever it is that you want to sell. But it needs to be unique to the person for sure.
100%. Makes all the difference. So back to your story. So you recognize that it's these people who reach out to you. So this is how you somehow naturally diverted, isn't the right word, like expanded your...
It kind of evolved, you know.
Evolved, that's the word,
So I'd done so much training in the neurodivergent world because of the kids, and obviously lived experience as well. So then I was naturally just giving tips and tricks and support and understanding to whoever I was with. So then it became just more apparent to be more open about it. And it's amazing how many people say, yeah, me too. Or like, I've got kids that are autistic, and it's almost like it's not something that people talk about unless they know they're in a safe place to do it. So the more awareness and the more I can voice it and have opportunities like this to talk to you too, then the more hopefully people will become braver about being open about themselves, or being about their children, the differences, things that are going on at home that maybe have challenges with. So it's I think it's really important for people to know they're not alone in this. The same message that you have in terms of women with postnatal depression is all about they're not alone, and that there's support out there if they want it, and to realize that they're not the only ones, and it's okay to be honest. And that in this case is very similar, that they're not alone. There are so many other people that are in the same position. It's just finding your people really that you can trust and talk to. So
can we talk more about the actual autism? So how did you recognize it? And what are the signs? What are the, because I know there are so many different.
There's a huge amount. And so, to be honest with you, I didn't really recognize it because I didn't really recognize it, the traits in myself or my parents or other members of my family. I didn't understand what it was. For a long time, my perception of autism was a child, mostly a male child, that would have a hyper focus and have a special interest, talk to you in a very direct kind of monotone voice, not have very much eye contact, and not have very much emotion. And that was my stereotypical type of view of what an autistic person was, and potentially somebody that would also stim, which is when you have something like rocking or movements of the hands, or something that looks like a fidget. So so that was my perception. So I was undereducated in that way. So I also then didn't see it in my child because actually I had the wrong impression of what it was. But from the age of 18 months, Nathaniel, my eldest boy, he often did things in a really kind of clever, astute kind of way that I thought was, for a mum, you think, oh, that's cute and that's endearing, that's lovely. So he would have ways of remembering things. So in particular, I always use for an example that he would say the number 8 was a snowman number because he saw that it looked like a snowman. Yeah. So and then he'd also call the stoplight, he'd call the red light for a traffic lights a stoplight. So he'd have these things, these terms that he would use that I knew exactly what they were and why he was calling it a snowman number. But most kids would be calling it the number 8. But so there were little things that he did. And I had dyslexia at school. I still have dyslexia, and I had a dyslexia diagnosis, and so did my dad. So I just was thinking, okay, he's got these traits that are potentially he's dyslexic, and he struggled to read a little bit, and he didn't enjoy it. He's found it hard to focus on reading. So English still is to this day a challenge, and the UK system and the way we do it is a big challenge to him. But I just picked up more and more things, like he didn't want to join a party. We went to a party. Most kids would go running in, and he would stand at the door and be like, don't want to go in too much. I don't want, it took a while. He'd sit on my lap in the corner. And it took a really long time for him to warm up. He had particular friends that he stuck with. It's not like he was a social butterfly. He would just have his secure friends. We'd go to the theatre and he'd want ear defenders. Or we established he needed ear defenders because he would want to cover his ears all the time. So he was really sensitive to the noises and a bit of the overwhelm. So there were certain things that he did right from a young age, and I just catered to them, not realizing that actually, there's something else going on here. I just thought this is my child, and he's a bit different, but this is who he is.
Yeah. So how did you find out that there's something different?
So I went through the school system, and they kind of gaslight you a bit, like, oh no, there's nothing wrong with your child. No, what are you thinking? No, why do you think that could be possible? So when you hear a school saying there's nothing wrong, you kind of just walk away thinking, okay, fine. Yeah. I went in about reading and about behaviours and stuff like that, and they kept on saying there's nothing wrong. So it took a long time to get to that point of thinking, oh, okay, but I think it was around the age of maybe 6 or 7. I was thinking there is something else going on here. That it's not just dyslexia, but and then I think I saw a few friends that had kids with autistic kids. Wasn't really relating to what they were going through or what the type of behaviours the kids had, but starting to learn a bit more. And starting to realize, actually, okay, so my opinion of autism actually is slightly, very narrow.
Yeah.
So, and it's such a massive spectrum. So I started to learn that actually there was more going on. And so I think it was just from observation, really. And then I think I started looking it up, doing a bit of my own research, and then thought, actually, there is something going on, and maybe it is autism. Spoke to the doctor a couple of times. They weren't particularly inviting. Oh yeah, come, we'll get you a diagnosis. You're on the right track here. So I went, I think, to the GP a couple of times. Once about dyslexia, saying, is there an assessment? Can I get some help? And then I think I went back another time thinking, okay, if you're not going to help me with dyslexia, maybe I can ask if there's something else going on, autism or ADHD or something. So yeah, it took a long time. And then being on the wait list, I was on the wait list for a couple of years, and then we hit COVID. And I was like, oh, wow, like, how much longer am I going to be on this waiting list? So I actually ended up, we actually ended up getting to the end of primary, beginning of secondary, where Nathaniel started getting bullied a lot, kids being unkind and physically and verbally abusing. So I was really worried about him needing support at school and maybe some intervention with his learning. So I got to the point where I thought, actually, I can't wait anymore. I need to understand what I need to do to support him. So we paid for private, and that was quite quick. Because we've got a local private hospital. So yeah, then having that helped, but we were into the first year of secondary and had a lot of bullying at that point. So we didn't. Whereas if going into secondary with a diagnosis would have been easier, I think he would have come under the umbrella of what is called the SEND team. So actually, his first school didn't suit him, and was in year 9 he only kind of participated about 50% of the year. We had a reduced timetable by the end of it, so he didn't have the best of time or the best of friends there. But fortunately, we found a fantastic school that's more creative, and into the arts, and he's focusing on film and production, which really suits him. It's less need for the academic and the books; it's more practical, so it's lovely for him. Although we are in a GCSE year, so he's got less GCSEs than an average child, but he still feels the pressure and feels quite anxious about it. That the time frame, like having pressure of time and being in a room and having a setting where you need to deliver something very quickly without the freedom to move around and have to sit for all that time and have to read very quickly and all that and write very quickly is quite difficult for him. And it's not a measure of his intelligence, which is a shame, because he's in top set in his maths and he can do really well in the classroom, but when you look at his exam results, it doesn't measure up, it doesn't match at all, which is a shame because of the system and the way it works. It doesn't really truly show.
It's a shame that with the knowledge that is there, I'm sure there's so much more that we need to learn and so much more that we need to kind of just get over the years and stuff. And it's a bit more open. I'm hoping, even though it is a bit more open and stuff these days. Well, this is what I think. I'm not sure if you feel the same.
Yeah, no, I do, definitely.
But why can't we tailor things? It just seems that all these things that I'm not blaming just school system. It just seems that everything seems to take such a long time to kind of change towards, even though we have the knowledge and stuff behind it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But I find that with so many things that we've gone through, journeys that we've been on as in history and still to this day, even down to same-sex marriages, even down to mixed race marriages, like the two of you, down to mixed background and cultures in schools, and the demographics, and some outweigh the others. I do have, from watching you do see that it takes time, and and I really do smile and feel really heartfelt when I see two same sex, a same sex couple walking down the street holding hands, thinking that we're in a world that they can do that and it's okay, and that it wasn't that long ago that they couldn't do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so I feel quite a lot of joy when I see that we have evolved, but I'm sure there are things that that happen to them if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I'm sure the two of you two still feel it as well. I've got a friend who's dating, and she's white, and she's gone out with a number of black guys, and there's certain pubs or restaurants they've gone into, and they feel people turning and looking at them. And so we're not quite there yet,
No,
but I think that's very much the case with neurodivergence, that we're far from being there. But I do look at these examples and think, okay, we'll get there. We'll get to that point where people recognise it, that people talk about it openly, that people are more accepting and understanding. And it's not such a foreign thing anymore, that actually, kids are all neurodivergent to a certain extent. They've all got different needs, that we can cater to all of them in a different way, that we don't have to go through this long drawn out assessment process to cater to their needs. That it will just happen,
Yeah.
That part about the long waiting list, I've heard, I don't know where I've had this conversation and stuff before, but I've heard that the waiting list is long and it does take a bit of time.
Yeah.
And it is a shame that you had to kind of go through the private kind of route in order to really kind of speed that things up. Again, I can't turn around and I'm not having a go at NHS. It's kind of like something that we all pay our tax money and stuff towards, and we want it to be as successful as it can be. It is just a bit sad, because when you talk about, especially about children, and all you want to do is make sure that your kids are okay, and that's everybody across the board, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's frustrating, and
it's very frustrating, especially when you're sending your child into the school that is not, and he's not. I didn't feel like he was safe for a very long time,
right?
And I don't have the skills and even the relationship with my child to be his teacher. So if I brought him home, we would have fought quite a lot, because he struggles with education. So he needs that strict setting and those classrooms and that timetable to be able to know where he is and to adapt to that. So, but sending him into an environment where they weren't really protecting or catering for him, that was it's very difficult to do that, and we don't necessarily have enough solutions at this point. That long waiting list is part of that, because there are kids out there with ADHD, for instance, that are on a long waiting list that potentially need medication to help them to be able to focus and to be able to be in school, and to help them to sleep well at night, so that they don't feel angry and frustrated on a daily basis. So then they're almost a danger to themselves or to school or to peers, because they're not regulated themselves. They haven't had the sleep and the food and the rest and this environment that they need. So then that spirals as well, and they become pinned as a misbehaving child that's doesn't want to learn, when actually it's not true at all. It's just that the system isn't quite there for them.
Would you say, I was going to ask, what is the most challenging about having autistic children, but there is no simple answer to that, no?
Well, do you know what? I'd say one of the most challenging things is actually society, and living in a society where you watch everybody and you mirror them. You both must have experienced it in school. Oh, all the kids, they're all having swimming lessons, ballet lessons, they're all going to football, they're all, doing arts and crafts, and some of them are learning a language, some of them are, doing some sort of awards, going to scouts, all these things where you think, oh, I need to be doing that too. My kids need to go to scouts, and my kids need to be learning to swim, and my kids need to be going to running club and into football, and so you start doing everything that everybody else does, and then if you have conversation with parents and they're saying what stage level of book reading is your child at, and what clubs are you going to, and what karate level of belt have they got, and suddenly you're like, oh, I'm not, we're not doing that, we haven't done that, and there's this element of you're not conforming, you're not fitting in, you're standing out. So, and then but also you've got that from grandparents and extended family as well, these questions and expectations, so that you're not fitting in and you're not doing what society expects you to do, right? So I think that's part of the biggest challenge, and I, funnily enough, I think I felt that right from Nathaniel being 8 weeks old, and that had nothing to do with neurodivergence, but society. I went to a play group, or like a developmental group for him when he was 8 weeks, and the leader of the group went round and asked how everybody's doing with their routines and what their how they were sleeping. Yeah, it's laughable, isn't it? And how they were feeding, and how often they were feeding, and how many bottles they were having, or how often they were on their breast, or how often the nappy changes, and were they on their bed, and I thought, oh, I've been in this cocoon of not doing any of that. He was hungry, I feed him. If he wants to sleep, I let him go to sleep. If he needs a nappy, I just change him up. Oh no, I haven't been putting him in his Moses basket. He's been in my bed. Like all these things. I was thinking, no, I'm not conforming here at all. So then I think that's when my depression kicked in the most, because actually I started trying to conform. And that's, I think I've probably done that for years. You just try and conform to what everybody else is doing, because you feel like you're doing it wrong otherwise. So I think that I think is probably the hardest bit, because otherwise what the beauty of it is that what goes on in my house is normal. I have a normal house for me. This is my normal. It's not normal to anybody else, but that's okay. It's just when other people start interfering and asking questions and putting judgment in there, that actually it becomes quite difficult.
Yeah, when you're fragile, especially now, because now it's different, I'm sure, than it was when you were a new mom, or when you weren't not sure what was happening.
Exactly. But I've come to that realization now. It's taken a long time to come to that, and a more educated, more understanding of it, that everybody's different, everybody has different needs, that there's no right or wrong.
And I'm glad you mentioned playgroups, because I know only from Facebook groups really that many moms don't want to go to moms of autistic children in particular. They don't want to go lots of different activities or playgroup, because their child doesn't behave, quote unquote,
doesn't
and
conform.
They feel bad, that their child is different, doesn't fit in, that they don't sit quietly. But I think these groups should be understanding of this now and expect
more
that.
inclusive.
Do you think though that you yourself, sorry, I've just touched the microphone. Do you yourself think that you as a mother, or in the wider world, like as a parent or whomever, you could actually put more pressure on yourself to be in that situation and things, right? Because your brain's ticking over, and like you said, your norm in your house is your normal. It's absolutely fine. But if so, I'm not just saying Nathan, but just say
Nathaniel, not Nathan.
Sorry, Nathaniel.
Okay.
If you're in that kind of arena where I think people just naturally do this, where you look at you see people looking at kids and stuff, right, and just kind of not in, I don't mean it in a bad way, but
observing,
exactly, just observing. And do you sit there thinking, why are they looking at my child? What's my child kind of doing? And if there's a million times that the kids and stuff run around and go absolutely all over the place and stuff, and sometimes it's just like, oh, this is a lot. I do remember when Nathaniel was younger, especially that
he was born a grown up, so he'd sit and he'd chat with us. Like, so when you go out, you know, if you meet up with friends they've also got young kids, you go to a soft play or something like that. And part of that joy is that they're all excited, the kids are running around, and you sit and have a coffee and you can catch up with grown-ups and talk to them. Nathaniel would often be just sitting next to me and joining in with the conversation and having a chat, and he wouldn't be off playing. And there was often that internal thinking, oh, people want to talk, they want adult talk. I've got a child sitting here. I try and encourage him to go off and say, come back in 2 minutes, you know, go and have a bit of fun, or can you go and find your friend so and so and see if they're okay. So I'd give him a little job to go off and come back again. So, but it's sad really, but I also did want that adult time to be able to chat freely. But yeah, I didn't realize at the time that it was just a bit too overwhelming for him and really noisy, and it wasn't the ideal place that he wanted to play and feel comfortable. So without realizing it, it wasn't the best situation for him. Whereas if we're out in a park, he would be more likely to kind of wander about and be a bit more happier in that environment.
Yeah.
Not so much. So I'm just doing this over there in things you can't see. But yeah,
I got it.
Less hectic. Yeah.
Exactly.
What would you say? I have a question. What would you say is the biggest myth about autism that people don't realize?
I'd probably say one of the biggest myths is the degrees of how people interact and engage, and their empathy, their humor, their capacity to learn. All of these are myths that people. So I've had friends that have gone to the doctor and said that I'd like to have an autism diagnosis, and this is like as an adult, because you discover as you're later, oh no, you're holding down a job and you're having a conversation with me, and you know, you've got a home and you've got children. No, you couldn't be autistic. And this is doctors saying this to people. But so even they're not knowledgeable enough to know, so you've got to go in. Well, but also I do understand to a certain extent, because a GP is holistic, isn't it? There's everything you go to, from a toenail to your heart to, you know, to your knees for a GP, and they need to potentially refer you, right? So I do get that, but to be dismissive, I don't appreciate that. And to tell somebody point blank, no, you know, point blank, that's not possible. Because a lot of people have been masking it for a lot of their life. You know, they've been trying to conform, so they're behaving in such a way that everybody else around them behaves, so that they fit in. And it's quite exhausting.
I've heard, I think, in a lot of conversations that we've had, like during the podcast and things, last one when we just had that conversation about depression and so forth, it was quite clear it really does depend on who you get and who you see as a GP and so forth. Not just GP, even like in terms of postnatal depression, like you could have what is it?
Health visitor?
Health visitor, or it just depends on who you've got and how knowledgeable they are, how much they're willing to kind of go out of the kind of tick box kind of exercises to really kind of see what they can kind of. Again, I'm not tarring every GP or health visitor and stuff.
Yeah, but it needs to be said. It needs to be said.
It's just something that you know, there are some absolutely amazing GPs, and there's certain people who I've just had something recently, and GPs, and there's been a few of them, because, you know, sometimes you've got like a kind of consortium type thing. And I've had such great treatment and stuff there. You know, they're all kind of seeming to kind of work together, seeming to kind of work it to kind of move things on and things, but in a right way, in a positive way. But I've known definitely in the past that if I didn't turn around and be a little bit of an arse, not rude or anything like that, but really push my thing forward,
Mm.
things didn't really kind of happen the way that I wanted it to. So it can really be so varying depending on who you bump into or who you kind of have as.
But also from their own life experience, right? That actually that they will get it straight away because they've had an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a son, or a daughter, or a husband, or a wife that actually has experienced it.
Yeah,
and it makes a difference.
Absolutely.
And that's where I find when I'm working with people that I've had the experiences that I can share with them and understand and empathize. Not that I wouldn't if I haven't experienced it, but it's so much easier if I have, because I haven't just learnt it from a course or from somebody telling me about it. I've actually lived it as well.
Yeah.
And then this is the same thing for you, Ivanka. You've lived the experiences that you had with the twins at the beginning when they were really young. So it's genuine and it's something that you can talk about with such passion because you've experienced it.
Yeah, so true. So what are your plans?
What are my plans?
Business-wise, family-wise, and in the next year, this year actually, 2025.
2025. So this year I am supporting my eldest with his GCSEs. My youngest I haven't said much about my youngest, but he's only the 1 year behind and he'll be doing his GCSEs next year. And he's also diagnosed, but his symptoms or traits are very, very different. So it's like totally black and white, the two of them. Yin and yang they are. But so getting through the GCSEs, trying to find a way to help him mentally to be okay about the next few months, because he is looking at it as like it's another 6 months to go type thing, and it's going too fast, it's going too slow, how am I going to deal with it, that kind of thing. So that's a challenge in itself. And then just finding pockets of lovely family time to kind of break it up and to bring a bit of joy in the life. And I fortunately have a dog that gets me out every single day, which is great for my mental health, to get the fresh air and be outside. And keep on building the business. So I appreciate being here, and being able to talk about what my passion is and to create that awareness, because that's a big part of what I want to do this year. Is I'm trying to be more open and honest about it, and about what's going on in my world, but also and who I work with, so that like I said earlier, so that people understand they're not just the only ones going through it all.
To be vulnerable, that really creates the connection.
Yeah, and there's so many people that have so many more challenges than I do, and I'm fortunate that one of the charities I work for, as well as working for myself, is an autism and ADHD trust advance. That there's such a world of knowledge and support for me that actually I feel very grateful that I've got them to turn to if I need any help. But not everybody has that. So if they can find a way to find other people to connect to and get support from, whether it's charities or whether it's support networks, I think it makes a big difference.
If there's anything that in terms of people that you feel that would benefit from, like you say, the trust and things like that, if you've got any of those links or anything, please send those across, because we can add those
to the description.
But
okay.
How do people get in touch with you if they want?
So if they want to get in touch with me, I'm my website's taliazamora.com. So I can give you that to share.
Add it to the description.
So, and they can connect with me. And there's lots of blogs and articles and things that I share. On my website, but also on LinkedIn. If they want to go a step further, they can join my mailing list and they'll get weekly emails. If they want to go a step further beyond that, they can contact me if they want any business support or any family support, one or the other or both, through coaching. So
I highly recommend, Talia, in any way. And I mean it because I lived it.
Yeah. No, it was great working with you, and it's lovely to see how well you've done with your book and how far it's gone. And yeah, excited to see it grow even more.
We have a podcast, so it's all good, going well. And we're still married.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. We've still got the podcast, right? So that's fine.
It's not divorced because we have a podcast.
Exactly. That's our running joke. That's how good our sense of humor is.
It's no marriage.
Yeah.
You've got a great sense of humor, the two of you. So, and you're keeping it going every other week through 2025.
For now, we'd like to do more, but the more people support us, the more
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. No, we do probably need to invest to kind of take it that next level and it being a bit more professional to a certain extent. But I love the conversations and stuff that we have.
Yeah, and I do too, having listened to so many of yours. I don't even know how many, and I've definitely got some firm favourites. But so especially the one with your twins chatting away, that was so cute. It really made me chuckle.
Like every 6 months or so,
yeah, it's
because
very
it's
cute.
hilarious. And very, not just hilarious, also insightful.
Yes, That's hearing their perspectives.
Yeah, I loved it when we asked Mason, what would you do if you could fly? Fly? What do you mean, Mom? I love that, no?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
They teach us more than we teach them sometimes. So.
But also, I think it was Mason that said when you asked him what he wanted to do when he grows up, and he said he wanted to work in gaming. And that's what my youngest does. And I was thinking, he can come and join him at school. He can come to Bournemouth and go to school with my youngest and learn gaming, because that's what he's doing.
When we come and sorry,
that's what he's doing at school.
Yeah. Oh my God! When we come and visit, they'll get on so well.
Yeah. They will. Yes.
They will, yeah.
I have to get we'll have to get them onto the Super Mario Kart. I'm sure they'll love it. It'll be fun.
If a baby on us says Mayo.
We're doing well.
Yeah.
So cute. But another firm favourite was Charlotte's podcast.
Charlotte.
That was
great.
Fantastic. Yeah,
but she has an amazing voice.
Yes.
Anything she says, it's so nice to listen to now.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, we had very good guests. When I was posting about like at the end of the year and say thank you to all our guests, I had to go back and look at the names because I forgot about some, not about the people, but I had to dig deep in the memory, like who else did we have? And then I checked, oh my God, of course, and everyone was so special and different. So I love this. This is amazing. Yeah.
That's what I like.
We learn.
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely.
Yeah. So thank you. Is there anything we haven't asked that you would like to mention?
No, not at all. I felt like you gave me lots of space to talk. So thank you. Yeah, we have. Yeah. And considering that it was free flow, it's like there was a lot to say.
There's always best. So I think we can wrap it up here. Talia, thank you so much for sharing this with us. It was so insightful. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed being with us as well.
Yeah, definitely did. It's great talking to you both.
There was a delay.
Don't worry.
It's fine. It's fine.
I get it. Just wink. I understand. Yeah. We're definitely putting the recording on now.
You have to say what you did. Say what you did.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Help, help. Big wording, help. That was actually funny. Once got the T-shirt from my sister.
Are we still recording, by the way? Is this still?
Yeah. Don't worry.
No, we won't. This is great. So
good luck.
This is the longest goodbye.
Yeah. Come on.
So there was. Do you remember? It was like a bubble, and you came with a chalk, and you could write anything you wanted. No. and we were on the phone with them when you opened it, and you wrote help on it. Do you remember?
Yeah,
That was hilarious.
Obviously, once it come up in, if it's back to front and stuff, right? So
black,
black.
yeah, you couldn't even really work it out, but yeah.
On the note of, why is this funny when people say that they need to escape from me?
Do you get that often? It's okay. It's okay. I'm still here. COVID me.
You must love me, really.
I do.
Brilliant. Okay, really, we'll let you go now, Talia. I promise.
I just want to go. I've had enough. I've done with this podcast. I promise I'll leave a review. Okay, right, go on.
Then you say it. Then you say goodbye. You
I
made
can
me
never
laugh.
do it.
No, you made me laugh, and I'm supposed to do it.
Thank you very much, Talia, for joining us. It was amazing as always, just having conversations and stuff with you. And there was a lot of insight to, your life, family, and just, some of this is, like I said, it's insightful, but it gives people another perspective, a deeper perspective into how we kind of look at things and stuff, especially on the neurodivergency kind of scale. And for that, thank you very much for putting the positive back out there. So for that, we really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, my friends. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and share it with someone who you think would enjoy it as well. And until next time, see you next time.
Take care.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.